Good evening, everybody. It is Wednesday night, and you know what that means. We just got done watching AEW Dynamite, another absolutely fantastic show. And I sit here and look at it, and I have to ask the question, why can't WWE do that? Seriously, why can they not do that? Welcome to the show. My name is John. This is WrestleScope TV. And we are live for the 22nd day in a row. And hopefully you got an opportunity to watch AEW Dynamite. Another great show. Maybe it may not have been the best show they've ever done, but it was a really good show nonetheless. You know, it started off with an incredible match between CM Punk and Dax Harwood. The main event wasn't the best one they've ever done, obviously, but it was still a good main event, and everything else on the show was solid. Okay, the one weak point, I really like Sammy Guevara. I love Ty Conti. I cannot stand Dan Lambert, and that whole back and forth between Lambert and Sammy and Ty, I don't know. Did we really need to go down that road? And if you look on Twitter, if you follow Ty Conti on Twitter, yeah, there is a picture that you're going to have a hard time forgetting about. I retweeted it. Though, it just goes along with what they were talking about, but just the thought of what Sammy and Ty did to that TNT championship belt, I don't know. Okay, Lucas, how are you getting sick of CM Punk every week? I mean, he had a really good match with Dax Harwood. And I love the fact that it really looks like FTR may be turning babyface, or at least tweeners. You know, they're obviously still aligned with the Pinnacle for right now, but you know, they've got a feud going on with, you know, with the Gun Club, which obviously they're full-fledged heels. And now you've got, you know, FTR going against them. I'd like to see FTR step away from MJF and Spears, and maybe MJF brings in another tag team. You know, maybe he aligns himself with another tag team. I don't know, but you know, we saw a phenomenal match again with Moxley and Danielson taking on the Varsity Blondes. And the promo that Moxley did at the end was great. And he's going to get in the title picture. CM Punk is going to get into the title picture because he kind of teased it at the end of the match. I think what they're planning on is following the next Adam Cole, Hangman Adam Page match. It's going to end up being Punk versus Hangman. Now, is that going to be at Double or Nothing? I don't know. Possibly. I'm not sure if that should be the AEW World Championship match to headline that show. I don't know. It would be good for Hangman, especially if he can pick up a victory over CM Punk. That would be a huge win for him. You know, that would be really a championship reign defining victory for him if he can pull that off. Obviously, you've got MJF still kind of lurking in the background with things. You know, Adam Cole's still right there, though. Just the way Adam Cole is talking in his promos, this is leading to a feud, Elite versus, you know, the Undisputed Era. I mean, that's not what they're called in AEW, but that's what it's going to be, is when Kenny Omega finally comes back, which now it may not be until Double or Nothing. He may not even be back at Double or Nothing, quite honestly, because he's undergone, you know, a number of surgeries, and I guess he's going to be undergoing another surgery still. He's still got a ways to go. So Lucas, you're asking, who do I think is going to take the TNT title next? I don't know. I think Scorpio is going to hang on to it for a little while, because what typically has been happening with that championship is, you know, whoever the champion is gets 6, 7, 8 defenses in, They never get to 10. Nobody has gotten, I don't remember how many Darby had. I don't think anybody has gotten to 10 straight defenses yet. I could be wrong. But usually when they get to that 8 or 9 mark, that's when they lose. And I could see Scorpio hanging on to that belt for, at least 3 or 4 months, depending on how often he defends that title. I mean, Sammy Guevara defended it a lot since winning the unified titles over Cody Rhodes. And, it seemed like every week he was defending against somebody. We went another week without Scorpio Sky defending the title. That's why he was able to go undefeated for 380 something days now is, we see him wrestle on TV once every 5 weeks. Yeah. It's pretty easy to have a year-long winning streak when you only wrestle 10 times in a year. Really, that's what it's been for Scorpio Sky. They haven't, they're pushing this whole thing with his undefeated streak, but okay, boy, Lucas, you're just throwing a lot of things here today. Do I watch WWE much? I watch Raw and SmackDown every single week. I watch every pay-per-view. And that's why I complain a lot about it, because I watch all of it. I don't think Sting and Darby are going to win the tag team titles. I really don't. There's too many other tag teams in AEW right now. And who's going to be the team that's going to knock off Jurassic Express? That's the thing is, the tag team titles they're getting kind of the WWE treatment right now in AEW. Is they're getting pushed down the card so much. And, the fact that they did win that triple threat match at Revolution was big, but what's next? Who's next? Honestly, I think I would have said Red Dragon would have been the team, but again, I really think they're gearing the Young Bucks and Red Dragon up for those trios tag team titles. And like I said before, when Kenny Omega comes back, you're going to have, the implosion of the Elite. It's going to end up happening. What do I think of Dolph Ziggler being the NXT champion? I actually like it. I actually like it because it's a well-known fact. It's always better to have the babyface chasing the championship. And there wasn't an NXT name, outside of Tommaso Ciampa that really was ready to win the title. Now, some of you are going to argue with me on that and say, well, what about Walter? I'm sorry, I can't call him the G name. He's Walter. It's going to happen. If Braun Breaker wins that championship back, which I don't know if he's going to or not. I don't think he's going to beat Dolph Ziggler at Stand and Deliver because I think they are going to push. Sorry, I'm just getting a message from my son I have to take a look at here real quick. Okay. I think they're gearing him up for a main roster call-up. And if that's the case, he is not going to regain the NXT championship. So who will be the one to defeat Dolph Ziggler? It could be Walter. Walter could be the guy because even though, him and Imperium are heels per se, the fans love him. And the whole point of bringing him into NXT and taking him away from NXT UK is to give him the championship and give him a dominating run as the champion. I don't know about Roddy Strong. I don't know when his contract with NXT is up. And he probably would end up going over there. But would they reunite? Would he reunite with the Undisputed Era? I don't know. It's a possibility. Again, I have no clue how long his contract is. You know, he could be coming up this year. He could have another year or two. We shall see. You know, I'll see if I can do some research on that to find out. But who do you think will win at WrestleMania? Well, what matches? I'm going to be doing a prediction stream next week, a live stream next week, probably Thursday. I will, as soon as I get a few things locked down. I've got one guest already scheduled to join me. I've got one or two others that are in the pipeline that I just need to talk with. So, but as of right now, I'm thinking it's going to be Roman, Charlotte, Bianca, the Usos, RK Bro, Finn Balor will retain. Who knows what they're going to be doing with Ricochet and his championship. What else am I missing? Let's see. I think Edge is going to win. I think Seth Rollins will lose. Drew McIntyre. It will be Natty and Shayna winning the women's tag team championships. I know I'm missing some other stuff in there. Sami Zayn's going to beat Johnny Knoxville for sure. Was that? Am I missing any other matches? Oh, and Austin Theory's going to beat Pat McAfee for sure. Do you really think? Well, the only reason I think Ronda's going to win is because Charlotte's going to win the belt back somewhere down the line again. And, you know, they're going to pad her number. She's going to get to what, number 14, whatever it is. You know, by the end of 2023, she's going to break her dad's record, which I think is a big joke, honestly. You know, that is a record that, and again, I know it's all scripted. It's not, you know, it's not real wins and losses, but you know, they never had John Cena break it, which was right. Randy Orton, who's the next closest, he never will. I can see them doing it with Charlotte sometime soon, though. And it will probably be at WrestleMania next year, honestly, where she would break the record, and that would be, you know, that would be the big main event. You know, maybe it's unifying the women's championships. I don't know. You know, if they unify the men's this year, they're going to unify the women's next year. I really don't think there's going to be a ladder match for the IC title because they would have announced that by now. But then again, it is WWE. You know, they haven't announced the battle royals, which we know are going to happen, probably on the pre-show. They let's see. You know what? We need to find out. Just want to see if they have added anything else that they have not really talked about here. Okay, here we go. This is the updated latest, I believe. Okay, so according to GameSpot.com, here is the breakdown for night one. Oh, he's got to make his appearance. Say hi. Got to sneak it. You got to get in on this one too. Say hi. Hi. He's going to bed. All right. Good night, buddy. Love you. All right. So night one of WrestleMania. I can't believe we're talking about this after Dynamite, but okay, this is going to be it for WWE talk. All right. Night one, it's going to be Charlotte versus Ronda for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Becky versus Bianca for the Raw Women's Championship. Stone Cold to confront KO. Ray and Dominic against The Miz and Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin, and the Usos defending against Nakamura and Boogs. That is night one. And if you hadn't heard the news already, Stone Cold and KO is going to headline or main event night one. Night two, you've got RK Bro defending against the Street Profits and Alpha Academy, McAfee versus Theory, Knoxville versus Zayn, Edge versus Styles, and Brock versus Roman Reigns. And then whatever ends up happening with Seth Rollins. And the unknown one they have listed here is the women's tag team title, Queen Zelina and Carmella against Sasha and Naomi, against Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, against Natalya and Shayna. We obviously still, like I said, we have the most likely Finn Balor versus Damian Priest for the United States title. Ricochet defending the Intercontinental title, which I've got a funny feeling is going to be on the pre-show. And I mean, that's it. Right now, they've got five matches confirmed for each night. And then that women's tag team match is the floater. That's it for 3 hours on each night. So they're either going to be adding a bunch of stuff at the last minute. I mean, we've got 2 SmackDowns left and 1 Raw. Are they leading towards anything else? I mean, why haven't they announced an Intercontinental Championship match? Why haven't they announced a United States Championship match? Why haven't they announced the Battle Royals? Well, one, I don't think they have enough women for the Battle Royals. You've got 8 in that women's tag team championship match. You've got another 4 in the SmackDown and Raw women's championship matches. That's 12 women right there. They don't have enough women on the rosters, including NXT, to fill out. And they're not going to put a bunch of NXT women in there, I don't think. But who the heck knows? If they do a women's battle royal, it's going to be worse than the Royal Rumble. It will be. It will be worse than the women's Royal Rumble. I mean, the men, yeah, you could probably get, I would keep it at 20. I wouldn't put more than 20 in there. But we shall see. Okay. You would feel attacked by what? The fact that they're, rumor has it that's going to be the opening match of night one is Charlotte versus Ronda. Yeah, main event talk show. That's right. Yeah, Bianca and Banks did get the main event last year, but why are you putting a talk show segment as the main event? Yeah, I agree. They should make a Scott Hall Memorial ladder match. But again, we're what, 10 days out now from night one of WrestleMania, and they don't even have they've got 2/3 of the card announced. I mean, if this is your WrestleMania 2 nights, the matches that I just laid out, that is a massive disappointment. I mean, we're talking massive disappointment that a year of planning and this is what you come up with. I mean, I am thankful that it is still $9.99 a month for Peacock, because I'll tell you, if I had to pay $60, $70 for this 2 nights of pay-per-view, I'd be pissed off. Okay, let's stop talking about. I'm done talking about WWE. I've spent enough time the last 2 days talking about them. I just want to talk about AEW, and again, just Dynamite is all. I was shocked. I had forgotten that Jericho and Garcia versus the Dark Order was the main event. The show ended, and I saw the graphic. Like, wait a second. It's over? It's over? I mean, it went so quickly. It was just, Not a lot of filler, not a lot of fluff. I mean, you did have the the interruption of Thunder Rosa with Nyla Rose. Do we really need Nyla Rose as the first challenger for Thunder Rosa again? I don't want to see that. I really don't want to see that. Honestly, those are the weakest parts of the show tonight. Were the interview segments. I mean, I loved the one with Wheeler Yuta and the Best Friends. I mean, basically it was Wheeler Yuta and Trent, which there should be. If they don't have a Wheeler Yuta Trent match next week on Dynamite or sometime in the next couple of weeks, it's going to be a disappointment. I think that's going to be a really great match right there. Nice build for that. I like the fact that Moxley and Danielson, we didn't see the slap again. We didn't see somebody else come in and get slapped by William Regal. It's too early for that. Though in my head I kept thinking, man, I want Julia Hart to get in there. I want Julia Hart to get in there. Not that Regal would slap her, but I wanted her to be the one that got in his face and would tease that she'd be the first woman in the group. That would be awesome. I mean, the rest of the show was really good. I like what they're doing with Layla Hirsch. I think she makes a better heel than she does a babyface. Finally, we saw a really good match from her. I had said last week that she looked like something was off with her, and I think she's a good wrestler, but I don't know if it's just the whole thing that's going on with Russia and Ukraine and her being Russian and just, all of that kind of in her head. I don't know, but tonight was a much better match from Layla Hirsch. It's back to the Layla Hirsch that, we all know that she can be. And I'm really looking forward to the next match between her and Chris Statlander. I think is going to be really good and it's going to be brutal. And I hope they give it, ample time, for that match. I want to see, if Red Velvet and Chris Statlander are going to be aligning themselves. I really would like to see Layla Hirsch connect with somebody else too. Bring in somebody else to be kind of her second. I think that would be awesome. Who would it be? I don't know. At this point, I mean, there's plenty of women on the roster that it could be, but it's got to be somebody that makes sense. But I look forward to that. I just, overall, it may not have been the best Dynamite, but it was an entertaining show, top to bottom. It was one of those shows that, if you were with me for the watch along for Raw on Monday night, it was painful. I mean, I was going through, an hour in, 2 hours in, like, I don't know if I can continue on with this. Had I been doing a live watch along for Dynamite, like I said, it flew by so fast. It went so quick, and I enjoyed the entire show. Even the stuff that wasn't that great was still fun. And you can't say that about WWE shows. You just can't. There's so many things that, either we get video packages up the yin-yang, you get matches, for the 750th time, or stuff that just doesn't make any sense. Come on, we ended up getting a promo package from Lance Archer and Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes, who, is a 25-year veteran, no, 35, a 35-year veteran of the industry, or close to it, with probably one of the best promos I've ever seen him do. I mean, he was really fired up in that promo. Now, I know he's going to get his ass kicked by Lance Archer, but it doesn't matter. It was a great promo. I think it's going to be a really good match. I really do. And I wish it would be, I wish it didn't have to be on Rampage. I wish it could be on Dynamite where it could have a little bit more time. But it's going to be a good match. It's really going to, it's going to be bigger push for Lance Archer than anything else. But, it was a great promo. It was a great emotional, impassioned promo, and I loved it. MJ, we got to talk about MJF. Possibly the best heel talker in the business. The guy doesn't slip up. I mean, 26 years old, and he is better than so many other wrestlers on the mic that have been in the business for a long time. I mean, the dude just, love him or hate him, you have to respect his ability on the microphone. Think about, Ric Flair in his prime in the NWA when he was the NWA World Champion. Think about Ric Flair at that time. You think about The Rock in his prime. You think about guys like that. CM Punk in his prime. MJF is right up there. I mean, if not better. I would love to do, comparisons between them. And he knows how to push the right buttons as a heel. He really does. And just imagine what it will be like when he wins the AEW World Championship. He is going to be just unbearable as champion, but it's going to be fantastic. Yeah, Lucas, you fell asleep during Raw? I didn't, only because I was live streaming. That was the only reason I didn't, is because I was live streaming. Though, I mean, there were moments, if you were watching, there were moments where I was staring blankly at the screen and not saying anything. So, I'm just going to wrap this up by saying, it was another enjoyable night of wrestling. It really was. I really enjoyed it tonight. And I always I'm excited when I can sit here at home and watch Dynamite live on Wednesday nights, because a lot of usually on Wednesday nights, I don't roll back into the house until about 8:30 Central Time, because we have family stuff at church on Wednesday nights. So I end up having to watch the first 90 minutes either on my iPad or on my phone. And, I don't get to really react to the show live. Whereas tonight I was, with the exception of the opening 2 matches, I was home and able to watch it live and just absolutely loved it. So, all right, I am going to close this out for the night because it's been a really long day for me again. And not sure what time I'm going to be on tomorrow. Might be an evening one again. I don't know quite yet. It kind of depends on how the rest of the day goes. And really, if there's any news that pops up in the world of wrestling, there hasn't been a ton. There really, has not been a ton of big news. I think back to, this time last year, and I mean, it seemed like every day there was something new popping. And, even a few months ago, there always seemed to be something. And now it's just there's not a lot happening right now. I think a lot of us that do, wrestling news got burned out from the whole Cody situation. And, it's still not resolved yet. I've still have people disagreeing with me on other streams that, no, Cody has not signed with WWE. Well, I'm going off of the couple of reports that I have seen that pretty much have confirmed that he signed a deal 2 weeks ago. I'm sticking with it, and, if the only way we'll know it's not true is if he does not show up at either WrestleMania or the Raw after WrestleMania. If he doesn't show up by April 4th, then he hasn't and he won't sign with WWE. Plain and simple. But I believe he's going to show up at night 2 of WrestleMania, on the Sunday night. I truly believe he's going to be there then. So that's all for now. Thank you very much, as always, for tuning in. Thank you for the likes. Appreciate all of that. You guys are awesome. Always enjoy everybody checking in and watching the streams wherever you may be watching, whether it's on Twitch, if it's on Facebook Live, if it is here on YouTube, on TikTok, wherever you may be watching. I greatly appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I'm John from WrestleScope. Make sure, please, check out. Oh, you know what? I got to throw this up here real quick on the other streams. Hang on just a second. Please make sure you check out the link tree in our bio. That way you can get connected on all the different social media. You can also check out the Amazon wish list, our Patreon page, which, again, I'm going to be working on again soon, getting some stuff up there. So please go to the link tree, follow on all the different social media. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a great night. I'm John from WrestleScope, and we will talk to you tomorrow.